Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back for a deadline stream for Game Week 33. So, welcome everyone. Hope everyone is having a good week. It is the deadline, Tuesday deadline. Very different. Usually, obviously, we do it on a Saturday morning, but there is games on tonight as well as tomorrow, and then even Thursday, which should be good. A lot of Premier League football to come. So we're going to get into it and talk about how we're lining up for Game Week 33. How are you doing, Jordan, anyway? You good?
Yeah, I'm very good. Hopefully everyone else is all right as well. This has come really swift and fast. Obviously, not many days to plan for this, but we always like a bit of FPL earlier than obviously the next weekend.
Yeah, let's bring up my team first. So we'll bring up the squads. We've got Damien, who says, evening, gents. Evening, Damien. So hopefully you guys can see the screen. So I'm just going to quickly read through my team. So in goal, I have Edison. I've decided to play Edison ahead of Kepa. Edison has Arsenal at home, whereas Kepa plays Brentford at home. And I don't know who to really go for. I could go for Kepa, but I think I'm going to stick with Edison. I just think I don't see Chelsea keeping a clean sheet, and to be fair, I don't see Man City keeping a clean sheet either way. So I'm just going to go with Edison. Moving on to the back three, I've got double Newcastle currently, so Trippier and Botman, who have Everton away. And as you can see from the bench, I have decided to bench Luke Shaw, who's got Tottenham away, because I do think Tottenham will score in that game. And I've also decided to bench Ben Chilwell, who plays Brentford at home. Now, the dilemma is, do I play Botman against Everton or do I play Chilwell against Brentford? And that's the dilemma I have in my current lineup. I've currently got it on Botman, but I could switch to Chilwell in the last minute or so. I don't know. But I feel like Newcastle could keep a clean sheet against Everton. And I don't really see Chelsea keeping a clean sheet against Brentford. I know Chilwell does have attacking potential, though, so that does slightly favour me, maybe playing Chilwell. I've also got Estupinian, who's got Forest away in that match. So that's a decent fixture for Brighton as well, I think. Hopefully they can keep a clean sheet in that one, but we'll see. I've also got a midfield five. Let's go move on to the midfield. So as you guys can see, I have Solly March and Mitoma. They have Nottingham Forest away, which again I think is a decent fixture for Brighton. So I'm happy to own both of them, and hopefully they can bounce back from that defeat to Man United. I think Mitoma wasn't great in that semi-final. Hopefully he can get back to his best, and then obviously March, after missing the penalty, I'm hoping he can get back on form as well and start getting some returns again. Moving on to Rashford, who has Tottenham away. I'm going to hold Rashford for the double next week. So Rashford should be fit for this game. And yeah, Tottenham away. Tottenham have just conceded 6 goals to Newcastle. We'll see if it's a good fixture for Man United. But yeah, I'm going to hold Rashford long term. So yeah, he's in my team. Moving on to Salah and Grealish. Now, these are the transfers I've already made. So for those that aren't aware, I probably should have tweeted it out last night, which I didn't. I did take a -8 last night. So the moves I've made for the -8 is Salah in for Bruno Fernandes, Grealish in for Saka, and Tony out for Greenwood. And Green goes on the bench, obviously, to take money out of the team. So I've gone with Salah. I have bought Salah in for essentially a -8 along with Grealish. Now, Salah has West Ham away. I was going to bring Salah in regardless next week for a hit anyway, so I might as well bring him in this week when he's got West Ham away. West Ham have picked up a bit of form, so it could be a tricky fixture for Liverpool. But Salah is on penalties and he's looking a bit better in recent game weeks. He is starting to score again, and he is now, I think, on 16 goals, Premier League goals for the season. So I'm quite happy to own Salah, and hopefully he can get me a big score in that West Ham away game. And finally, to complete the midfield, I've got Grealish, who's got Arsenal at home as well. And I think that's a decent fixture for Man City and Grealish. And hopefully Grealish can get me a return, and I'm quite excited to own Grealish. And then finally up front, I got Watkins, who's got Fulham at home, and then that's a nice fixture for him. And then Haaland completes the attack, and he's got Arsenal at home, and he's currently my captain as well. So that is the 11 I'm going to play. Just for those that are joining, again, I have taken a -8 already confirmed last night. So Salah, Grealish, and Greenwood in for Bruno, Saka, and Greenwood out. So that's the team. Anyway, let's move on to you, Jordan. I know you're on a wild card, so a bit more maybe exciting for you. I'll just switch over to your team. Talk us through your wild card selection. Are you locked? And your thought process behind the players you've selected.
Okay, so we'll begin with Ederson, who obviously has Arsenal at home. Now, I don't expect a clean sheet, obviously, from Ederson in this fixture, obviously, because Arsenal, I think, can score against Man City. But I think it's more for the double game week that Man City having 34 that I'll have Ederson for most of this time, just to see if they can get a clean sheet in their double, which they should be manageable. I mean, there's a nice double that Man City do have. Moving on to the back three, we've got Trippier, who is Everton away. Obviously, in this wild card, I've kept Trippier in because obviously he's still highly owned. Mostly everyone has him, so if he does get something out of this game, it will be devastating to the rank. So obviously Trippier is staying there. He's not being transferred or put on the bench. Next, we've got Mings, who I did put on my wild card. Obviously, because they got Fulham at home, it looks like a very, I'd say, appealing fixture, considering how well Aston Villa have been underneath Emery. They've been keeping more clean sheets. Obviously, they didn't keep on last game against Brentford, but they don't concede many goals underneath Emery. So I think for Fulham, who are missing Mitrovic still, I think this is a good fixture for Mings to get a potential nice haul of clean sheet. And finally, we got Trent, that completes the defence, who has West Ham away. Obviously, now that Trent, as we've mentioned, playing in the inverted right back position, he is now being more attacking, like he would be as a midfielder position. So he has West Ham away, who are still struggling, even though they did get a nice draw against Arsenal. I think this is a good match for Liverpool, who are trying to still reach, if they can, to one of the top 4 spots. It's quite a lengthy battle, but they'll be trying to win that game and win every game that's left of the season. Moving on to the midfield. First off, we got Rashford, who I did include in this wild card. I originally had Saka, but considering that I haven't heard any news about Rashford having any sort of injury issues, I have included him into this wild card, as I did mention before in the other video I would, if I didn't hear any injury issues with Rashford. But I know there has been obviously injury news about Fernandes, but that's another topic. But I'd like to include Rashford in this wild card because he does have Tottenham away, and Tottenham did come off of a massive loss to Newcastle by 6-1. Man United definitely won't score that many, I don't think, in this fixture, but Rashford still is I'll say a good, decent Man United asset to go for, especially now Bruno is potentially a doubt as well. We don't know how long he's going to be missing matches, but hopefully he makes a speedy recovery. So I have included Rashford into this draft because he's at one of the Man United assets I'll probably want, as they do have a double as well. Next, we've got Martinelli, who has obviously Man City away. I did want to include at least one Arsenal asset in this team, and I've pretty much gone for the most informed one, and that is Martinelli, because I can see him, even if Arsenal don't seem like they're winning this game, they can at least still score, and I think Martinelli can be a part of that as well. So I've left Martinelli in there. He is still highly owned. I think just under 50% still own Martinelli, so he is a danger to rank if he does get something like an assist or scores a goal. So I'm going to keep him in there for now. Next, we've got De Bruyne, who I've decided to bring in. Now, this was a split decision. I could have gone Salah, or I could have gone De Bruyne, but I've decided to go with De Bruyne because I know a lot of people are going to obviously go for Salah, and not many people will really look at De Bruyne, even though he has a double with 34, a nice double. So I'm going with a little bit less popular pick that hopefully will work out. And I do, as I've mentioned, like the link-up play between Haaland and De Bruyne because he always looks out for Haaland if he is to make a run, and always tries to receive the ball from him. So I like the link-up play, and that's why I've included him into my team. Plus, he's also a little bit cheaper than Salah, even though Salah's more of a goal scorer and De Bruyne is more of an assist returner. I still think for the double wise and maybe the Arsenal home fixture, this could return really well. And finally, the last midfielder I've included is Mitoma. He's got Nottingham Forest away. They do come off of a defeat against Man United in the semi-final of the FA Cup. I'm hoping that from that defeat, they can surely boost themselves for this, obviously, to finish well in the Premier League as high as they can, and obviously bounce back from that massive, not massive loss, but that massive disappointment of reaching that far in the FA Cup and losing on penalties. So Matoma has been pretty good. He was good in that FA Cup match, and he's shown great attacking threat. Before I speak about the front three, I'm just going to put McAllister for Greenwood because I'm not going to play Greenwood. So I'll mention McAllister also. He is on penalties for Brighton as well, and Brighton do get a few penalty claims as well for the team. So I have included him as well, just in case Brighton do get a penalty, because obviously McAllister is the taker. So that is a little added bonus if Brighton do manage to get one. And now we move on to the front two. Obviously Haaland, who's got Arsenal at home. Big game for Man City and also for Haaland, as he is my captain pick. I imagine he's going to be very highly captained this week, just because basically on his performances that he has given throughout the season. He's almost beaten Salah's record. He's just pretty much matching his amount of goals. So his next one will make him the highest goal scorer in the Premier League. So yeah, he's an easy captain pick. There's not much to really talk about with Haaland, and he obviously doubles in 34, which one of my chips is also planned for in that double. So more on that later. And then finally, we've got Tony, who's got Chelsea away. Obviously, we all know how much Chelsea have struggled through this season, especially after the sacking of obviously their manager, and now that
Lampard.
Lampard, yeah. I always get mixed up. I always want to say Gerrard, but it's Lampard. But yeah, Lampard being obviously the taker for the rest of the season. Still, there's not really much improvement, even with a different manager with Chelsea. So this is a good fixture, I think, for Brentford, even though their form away isn't that great. I still think Tony can potentially score in that game, whereas Chelsea probably struggle to score. So yeah, that's why I've left Tony into my team. And on the team bench, I have done a few changes. I've brought in Steele, the Brighton goalkeeper, who's got Nottingham Forest away. I think in the double, I may potentially swap to Steele and not play Edison, potentially. I don't know why I have a good feeling that Brighton may keep a clean sheet more than Edison will, just judging by his clean sheet record. The season hasn't been great, but hopefully Steele keeps his place as well. Otherwise, I might have to switch it to Sanchez, but hopefully it stays. We'll still be in the starting team. Next, we got Greenwood. I will put him at the back because he's not a player that I expect him to play. And I'll just put Shaw there. And Shaw's on my bench for now. Obviously, it's a bit of a headache trying to fit obviously these players on. I would like to have Shaw in there, but I don't think they keep a clean sheet against Tottenham. Just because Kane manages to find a way to score always, most of the time. So I'm a bit wary of playing Shaw for the clean sheet potential. Or maybe you can get an attack and return against Tottenham, who have sort of been off the radar a bit, but hopefully not. But he's there.
I just realised you was going to go Kane as well, weren't you, on your wild card?
I was originally going to go Kane, but then it would be a struggle to get De Bruyne in. It had to be a pick between De Bruyne or Harry Kane, but I think long term De Bruyne will be a better pick. Mm-hmm. But hopefully Kane obviously doesn't return goals. Next we've got Kilman. He's got Crystal Palace at home. He's just pretty much a budget saver. The same with Greenwood as well. He just saves up money to use up in this team. So yeah, that's my wild card for now. I don't think I'll be making many changes to it unless I hear any rumours.
Okay, nice. Let's read out some questions then. Let's get we've got a few comments that's come in. Damian Mason says, would you Kane and Salah? So would you take Kane and Saka, out to Salah and Jota for a -4? I mean, I've just took a -8 to get Salah in and to get Grealish in. So if you want those guys next week, I'd only do it if it locks you out of potentially, if you've not got enough money in your budget, and Salah's gone up obviously 13 million now. If you've got enough money to do it next week, you could just play Kane against Man United this week, because Kane can easily score against United. Saka against City, you never know. Obviously, Saka's on penalties. You could get a penalty against Man City. It's a tough one. I don't know. Would you do it, Jordan, this week?
I probably wouldn't do it this week. I'm not too sure about Jota. I think I'd want to see if he plays in his West Ham game or not, because then maybe in the double we could potentially miss one fixture.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because obviously Liverpool played on the weekend and again on Wednesday, then have another game on Sunday. So it is Sunday, isn't it? The game week 34, Liverpool play. I'm just going to check. Sorry, Wednesday. Sorry, sorry, my bad. Liverpool play again on Sunday against Spurs, and then again next Wednesday against Fulham. So there is quite a turnaround. So maybe see how Jota does in game week 33. So you could actually roll and then bring those two players in next weekend when they've got the double, when you know more information about Jota. Steve said, good evening, gents. Good evening, Steve.
Steve.
Evening, John. Johnny.
Johnny.
Would you start Saka or Bowen? Of course, Saka has Man City and Bowen has Liverpool. Who are you starting, Jordan?
I'd still start Saka. I mean, it only takes one penalty from like a handball from an unnatural position to give a penalty. So Saka is the penalty taker. So you could easily get a goal from that way, even if it isn't from open field, which will be more difficult against Man City.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I think I would be playing Saka as well, just because he's on penalties, and I do expect Man City to get a goal because City don't keep that many clean sheets as well. But yeah, it's a tight one. But I'd probably go Saka. Starting Saka over Grealish, that's a tough one for me. I'd probably rather play Grealish because I expect Man City to win. So I'm going to back the team who I think will win. And if I'm expecting Man City to score 2 or 3 goals, I'd expect Grealish to be involved with maybe an assist or 2. Is Eriksen worth a punt? Says Ali Mack. Not for me. I don't see any upside with Eriksen. He doesn't really score. He doesn't really get assists. So yeah, I'd avoid Eriksen. I think I'd rather have Rashford and that's it. If Bruno is injured, then obviously you'll have to make moves on Bruno. But Bruno is a good pick, I still think, for the next couple of weeks. But no, not Eriksen for me. Start Botman or Mings. Who are you starting, Jordan? Was he Botman, Everton, and Mings has Fulham?
I'll probably start Mings. I feel like Aston Villa at home is better than Botman having Everton away. I think definitely a home fixture does bring advantage to an away one.
It's a tough one for me. Obviously, I'm playing double Newcastle defense with Botman and Trippier currently. I've benched Ben Chilwell to play Botman, so I don't know if that's a wise move, but I'm just tired of Chelsea and Chilwell. Every time I play Chilwell, he only gets me 2 points or even a 1-pointer. So why do I have to lose? I'm just going to play Botman this week, I think. I would play double Newcastle defense personally, but Mings is also a great pick because he does have some potential attacking threat as well that we've seen this season, where he has picked up a couple double-digit hauls. Nothing to lose, I think, starting Steele over Edison. Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, I might have to actually do that myself.
I'm 1.8 mil overall and started in game week 4 in my first season. Is it a good stat? I mean, if you started late, 4 weeks late, then yeah, I mean, you might not. It's not too bad. I mean, you missed 4 game weeks, so yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. But yeah, if it's your first season as well, then I guess as long as you improve on it next season, then I guess if you start playing from game week 1, you should have a lot more success next season potentially. Budget is fine. I was thinking of doing it next week for free in regards to the question about Saka and Salah. And Damien also says he might just roll. Afternoon says Dan. Afternoon. Hope you're well.
Dan.
Also, guys, if you are just tuning in, make sure you do smash the like button and also make sure you are subscribed. Ali Mac, do you think Steele plays? Well, Sanchez played in the final semi-final, didn't he?
Yeah, he did play in the FA Cup semi against Man United. So,
but I think Sanchez. Sorry, I think Sanchez is the cup goalkeeper. Anyway, he always plays the cups, so I think Steele could play. Yeah, because I know the way Brighton do it, Steele plays the league games, and I think Sanchez was a cup goalie. I mean, you could just go ahead and start Steele, and if he doesn't play, then you'll just get an auto sub. So, you know, as the previous comment, you don't really have much to lose. But yeah, make sure you guys do smash the like and make sure you are subscribed as always. But yeah, I mean, I've took a -8. I actually don't know how I feel about the -8, but I'm not expecting a great week if I'm being honest because of the -8. I'll be happy with like a grey arrow, like a sideways move. Next week, hopefully, I can get a big green. But we'll see. Hopefully, start Alex Moreno or Eze. I'm just looking at the fixtures. Eze has Wolves, and Alex Moreno has Fulham. I'd start Eze, the attacking player, over the defender, personally. Jordan?
Yeah, I'll probably play Eze if I still had him in the team. I think they were a bit unlucky for Palace against Everton. Well, I think for this fixture they have coming up, I think Eze will hopefully be more involved and potentially return.
Yeah, Eze's got Wolves as well. And Wolves, yeah, they've won a couple of matches recently, but I always prefer the attacking player. Thinking of captaining Watkins this week, says Dan Hilton. And Felix also adds, I'm on 60 points. I'm 60 points behind in my league. What do I do? Who do I captain apart from Haaland, Watkins, or Salah? Interesting. So a couple of captaincy questions. We're both on Haaland. I'm pretty sure you're not changing, are you, Jordan?
No, definitely not changing.
One thing I will say about the captaincy option, I don't like being different for the sake of being different. If you think Haaland's going to score goals against Arsenal, then even then I will still captain Haaland. I wouldn't try be different just to catch rank, because what can happen is you captain Mitoma, let's say, against Nottingham Forest. Mitoma blanks. Haaland goes scores 2 goals against Arsenal, and then you're even further behind, and then you're even making even riskier decisions going into the last weeks of the season just because you want to catch up on the points you missed. So, look, I think it is, for me, it's scary. I've not considered not captaining Haaland this week, but if you want to go different, look, Watkins against Fulham, it looks decent on paper. You know, Mitoma and March, they have Forest. Salah against West Ham. I mean, I wouldn't go there. But if you are wanting to be different, Watkins could be a decent play. But yeah, I'd be worried. I just think Haaland, the way Man City are playing, Arsenal aren't looking too good right now. I do expect a comfy Man City win, which we'll come on to our score predictions later. But yeah, what's your take on it, Jordan, about captaining Watkins potentially if you are chasing rank? But Felix doesn't want to captain any of them. I think Brighton's the other way. If you don't want to captain Haaland, Watkins, or Salah, then I think Brighton's your next best bet.
Yeah, Brighton asset or potentially even Rashford could be a captain pick. They do have Tottenham away, and Tottenham have come off a 6-1 loss. But Man United obviously don't score as many goals, obviously, as other teams have. But I think Rashford could be a decent captain pick anyway.
Yeah, that's only if you want to avoid Haaland, Watkins, or Salah. I don't know why, because Salah and Watkins will be very low captained anyway. So if you do captain Watkins and he scores, and Haaland blanks, you'll still get a very big green arrow. I am having benching headaches. Are these the right decisions in my team? Kepa, Trippier, Estupinian, Botman, Mings, Mitoma, March, Rashford, Kane, Watkins, Haaland captain. Bench, Raya, Saka, Fernandez, Shaw. I think so. I think you've got it correct. I'd say I'd play Mitoma March, I think, against Forest. I'd play Rashford. Fernandez is injured, it looks like. Saka, he's got Man City. So it's a tough fixture on paper. So yeah, I'd agree. I think you've got it right. Would you play Saka, Jordan, instead of double Brighton midfield, let's say? Would you play Saka ahead of March and Mitoma? Would you rather play the Arsenal player? Because obviously you're gonna play an Arsenal midfielder this week, aren't you?
Yeah, that's a tough one because I can play two Brighton midfielders and the Arsenal.
Yeah.
But I would probably bench March, but still have Mitoma and play Saka.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think I'll be confident in that. I think benching March, I feel less worried of benching Mitoma, who shows more of an attacking threat than Solly March does. He has his moments, Solly March, but I think Mitoma has the upper edge on him. And obviously Saka on penalties against Man City. Anything can happen in that game. So those are the two I would pick and bench March.
Mm-hmm. Start Shaw or Botman. For me, it's Botman. I think Shaw may concede. Jota in this week or just Kane? I think you're fine with Harry Kane. I think you are fine with Harry Kane, and maybe take Kane out next week when Jota has the double and see if Jota gets minutes this week. Because there is a chance that Jota could get rested this and miss this game week or even come off the bench. Because there's Darwin there that can play. There's Diaz who's now back from injury as well. Firmino is out now. So Bobby Firmino has picked up an injury and he's going to miss this game. So maybe that is a bit better for Jota owners potentially. Florence Calusa, please give me a quick wildcard 33 and bench boost 34 team. I know Jordan's on a wildcard. So switching to Jordan's team, that's who he's gone with. Trippier, Mings, Trent, Rashford, Martinelli, De Bruyne, Mitoma, McAllister, Haaland and Watkins.
Yes, I did take out Tony just now for Watkins.
Okay, interesting. So added Watkins back in.
Yeah.
If I had to do a wildcard team, switching back to my team, I'll just do it. I'll show you quickly. I'll show you quickly, Florence, what I would do if I was wildcarding right now, potentially. So I wouldn't have Kepa. I'll just have a cheap goalie, I think. I wouldn't have Chilwell, I don't think. I'd probably have Trent. Probably keep the rest of the back same. Trippier, Botman, Estupinian, Shaw. I think that's fine. March, Mitoma. I'd probably take out March instead. I'd probably rather have McAllister because of the penalty factor. I'd probably have McAllister. I'd have Salah in my team personally. Grealish and Rashford, I think, are fine. You could take out Grealish and maybe go for Bruno Fernandes. So I do like Bruno. And then what I'd probably have, if you want to be a bit more risky, and maybe on a wild card, I would go with Jota, I think. But I don't have the money to do it, I think, annoyingly. So if I need the money, I'd probably just have March, and that will give me exactly the amount of money to do it. So I would probably go Jota on a wild card. So to answer your question, Florence, something like this. Jota, Salah, double Liverpool attack. Rashford in there as well. Trent, Luke Shaw, double Newcastle defense, triple Brighton. And also I'd rather have, Haaland, Grealish, or Haaland, Bruno. I also like, but I can't afford Bruno. So it depends on your team value as well. But Edison is a goalie as well. So probably something like this for me. Back to my team. Evening, guys, says Tricky Trees. Would you play Martinelli or Isak? Jordan, this one's for you.
I would probably play Martinelli over Isak, even if.
Ooh, what?
Yeah, it's surprising because you can
Isak's
see
for Everton, by the way.
Yeah, the fixture, it is better for Isak in terms of the fixture, which Martinelli has Man City. But Martinelli has proved that he can return pretty much most game weeks, and Isaac he can return big, like he did against Bournemouth.
Look, I'm playing Isaac, definitely. Everton differential as well. Not many people have Isaac in their team anyway. So if he scores again, I'm playing Isaac. For me, it's an easy one. I think Arsenal. I don't expect Arsenal to win. We'll probably come on to predictions later. But yeah. I'm going Isaac.
I don't expect Arsenal to win, but I do expect Martinelli to get something from it. That's the worry, because half of FPL owners still own Martinelli. They haven't really got rid of him.
Yeah, fair enough. I just think Isaac against Everton is a haul worthy. Like I could see him scoring 2 goals and an assist or something like that. So yeah, it's up to you. I think I'd play the fixture and go with Isaac, especially with his great performance against Spurs on the weekend as well. Start Botman, Shaw, or Diaz. I'd probably start Ruben. Actually, no. I'd probably start Botman. I think. I think I'll start Botman because I do expect Man City to concede. Would you play a Man City defender, Jordan, or Botman or Shaw?
I'll probably play Botman. That's probably the highest clean sheet I can see between those 3 players, because Man City find always a way to concede, like they did against Southampton. And Shaw has Tottenham. Kane always finds a way to score in every game, even against Newcastle. Even though they won 6-1, Kane still scored in that one, even though Spurs were poor. And Botman, who has Everton away, probably the best fixture you can go for between those 2.
Yeah, I was looking at, obviously Everton's last game was 0-0 and Everton didn't score, so I would play Botman, I think. Start Odegaard, Ramsey, or Chilwell. Probably. Odegaard's. I don't know. Ramsey, who's he got? Aston Villa. Aston Villa play Fulham. I wouldn't be. If you got Ramsey, then I might take a cheeky punt on Ramsey because I'm not. It might sound crazy, but I'm not that confident on Arsenal. We'll obviously see tomorrow how it goes. But look, I wouldn't be against playing Ramsey. If you are chasing, if you need, if you want to be different, you need to climb up the ranks or whatever in your mini leagues. I wouldn't be against playing Ramsey, but most people will probably play Odegaard, I'd say. Who would you bench, Jordan, out of these 3? Martinelli, Tony, or March?
I'll probably bench March. I'll probably play Martinelli and Tony.
Okay, fair enough. Who should I captain, Mitoma or Salah? Mitoma has Nottingham Forest away and Salah has West Ham. I would say Haaland. if you had to pick out of those 2, I'll probably still say Salah, even though Mitoma probably has the better fixture, you'd say. Salah is on penalties. He's picked up a bit of form as well, Salah, scoring in recent weeks. So, yeah, if I had to pick out those 2, I'm siding towards Salah. Jordan, would you go Mitoma over Salah?
I could be tempted to go to Mitoma, to be fair. There has been game weeks where I've been wanting to captain Mitoma and he has done well in them, and I didn't captain him in that week. But I'll still be wary of, obviously, Haaland, obviously having Arsenal. So if I had to pick between Mitoma or Salah, let's say, I'll probably pick Mitoma.
Interesting. I wasn't impressed with Mitoma against Man United. I thought that was one of his worst games I've seen him play. I thought he couldn't beat the man a lot. But look, he's got a better fixture on paper against Forest.
I think it was really hard because Wan-Bissaka did a really great
he
job
did
at
really
mirroring
well.
of Mitoma.
I've benched Saka. Is that a risk or am I okay? Look, it's always a risk potentially when you bench players like Saka, etc. But you could be fine. It depends who you're playing. Instead, if it's Grealish or Saka, I'm playing Grealish personally. But yeah, look, it depends who you're playing ahead. Saka does have a tough game, as we've mentioned a lot of chat about Arsenal midfielders. Do we bench them? Do we play them? Do we sell them? It depends what you think is going to happen against Man City. I'm expecting Man City to win quite comfortably. So I can see Saka blanking, but then I can also see Saka scoring in a 3-1 loss or a 2-1 loss. So I would probably bench him if I had Grealish, Salah, Rashford, even double Brighton. I'd rather play Brighton midfielders than Saka, I think, this game week. Jordan, a question for you from Steve. Did you consider a Newcastle midfielder instead of an Arsenal midfielder as a differential? So Newcastle playing Everton as well. And they're just doing well right now as well.
No, I've not really considered a Newcastle midfielder. I think when they doubled in 36.
Yeah, Newcastle double again, I think, in 36. Just double checking. Yes, 36, they've got Leeds and Brighton. So that's a nice double.
Yeah, I think I'd consider it more when they double, I think, going Newcastle midfielders and obviously forwards like Isak. But I don't think at the moment, Steve, I'll consider as a differential bringing in a Newcastle midfielder. Yeah.
Obviously, there's players like Jacob Murphy, who's doing really well, scored a screamer against Tottenham. I like him as a differential. There's Joe Linton, who's looking good. Even, so yeah, maybe a cheeky punt on someone like Jacob Murphy could be decent. Salah v. a 3 games in 6 days West Ham. But yeah, I mean, if you're a Salah owner, you're hoping that plays into Salah's hands. That West Ham have played 3 games in 6 days now. They're not used to that. If Liverpool are usually used to that, playing every 3 days. When West Ham, you hope so. But look, after they played in the Europa League, they went and smashed whoever it was 4-0. So look, West Ham have picked up some form, but Liverpool's away record isn't great. So that does worry me slightly. Liverpool away from home. But yeah, Salah, I still back Salah to get a return. And Liverpool seem like they still manage to score in games. Whether the Liverpool will win is another question. I could see a high scoring draw even in this game. Dan says, I lucked out with starting Murphy for Newcastle at the weekend due to blank game week. Ouch. I mean, Murphy. Yeah, he had a really good game, didn't he? So, yeah, that's a bit unlucky. People still sleeping on Isak. 7 goals in 7 games. Yeah, look, Isak is definitely on my thoughts for the coming game weeks. It's hard to fit him into my team right now. If I had a wild card, I could be tempted with Isak, potentially. I mean, Everton does look like a good fixture for Isak, and then after Everton, he's got Southampton. So that is a nice fixture again at home as well. Then in 35, he's got Arsenal, which is a bit tough, and then he's got a double. So the fixtures are pretty decent for Newcastle, and they are playing really well. It looks like they are going to get Champions League football as well. So yeah, look, Isak definitely in my thoughts, for sure. But yeah, we've got about 20 minutes, haven't we, till the deadline ends?
Yeah, and surprise, surprise, I have changed something in my team. Obviously, I need to refresh it.
Oh wow, you've gone with Isak.
Yeah, I have gone with Isak in my team. I've
convinced you.
I have been convinced. I think he is underlooked, Isak. And it's only taken me now to realise, and obviously people from the chat, that he could be, like Trent, an early player to bring in before a double.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does have a double in 36. So, and he has a decent single game week fixture this week against Everton. So yeah, what's his ownership like anyway?
Isak's ownership is 8%.
So yeah, he is a bit of a differential. I mean, are you locked on that? Would you say, obviously, Isak?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I have benched McAllister though, but I think that could work out. Hopefully Isak has a decent game at Everton away. He should do the form he's been on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys. So Jordan, last minute change. Isak in for who did you take out?
Greenwood.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you've got the money to do it as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've still got 1 million left after that because I did have 3.9 before bringing Isak in.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, as Dan says, guys, like the stream, people. Everyone, make sure you do smash the like. It really helps the channel out, and yeah, all your likes, your comments, your shares, everything is appreciated. So make sure you are subscribed as well, and get us to 800 subscribers as well if you can. Luke says, Kane to Jota now or wait and roll and can't. and do Jota next week, I think. Yeah, I'd wait. I'd keep Kane against Man United and then reassess in game week 34 when Jota has a double game week. And it also will let you know that if Jota starts and plays 90 minutes against West Ham, he might be a slight worry in that double potentially, because he's played a lot of football. Obviously, Jota is coming back from quite a serious injury as well, so that does slightly worry me. But I'd probably wait and do Jota next week if you can. Yeah, obviously on the subject of Isak, you've gone Isak, bringing him in.
Yeah, but he is another differential in my team, and I think I need to bring in a differential here and there just to make the rank increase more, I think, because I'm literally stuck in this rigid bit of 500, 600k gap, and I need something a player like, I think, Isak to boost me up above that.
Okay. Interesting. But yeah, look, team's looking good. Both our teams, obviously, quite excited to watch the games this midweek. I think they're all on Amazon Prime. All the games. I think there's another question for you. Possibly now that you've switched to Isak, a Newcastle midfielder could give you more cash and flexibility.
Yeah, I'm not keen on I don't know why I'm not keen on the Newcastle midfielders, because they're not always consistent. I think that's why I'm not keen on them.
Yeah.
I think that's what's put me off, because I know Murphy did really well against Tottenham, but I don't see him doing that every game week. And Joe Linton as well, even though he scored against Tottenham again, unless the other team is really struggling and Newcastle have a really high scoring game like Tottenham, I don't see him doing it every game week. So there is a chance one of them or the other could get something though. I can't pass that away, but I think for now, maybe later on when Newcastle are near the double, I could potentially bring in the Newcastle midfielder.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think Newcastle midfielder could be a nice differential. But look, it's hard for me to get anyone in. I've took a -8, so I can't bring anyone else in. But I mean, your midfield looks okay. Mitoma, De Bruyne this week against Arsenal. Martinelli as well. He's got Man City. Mostly Tottenham, Rashford. I think that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it depends what your thoughts are on. Let's look at Newcastle midfielders anyway. If we could take a look at them. I'm not sure who I think Murphy's the one I'd probably go for if I had to pick. Willock is maybe underlooked. Joe Willock, who got an assist, a very nice assist for that 5-pointer. He did get a goal as well in double game week 29 against Man United in the 2-0 win. Willock, you could go for. Joe Linton is another one. He did get a 12-pointer against Tottenham, and then he also got a 13-pointer against West Ham in the game against them in double game week 29. But then other than that, he's not had many returns either. A lot of blanks. Bruno Guimaraes. He's not really a goal scorer, but I think he's a brilliant player. One of my favorite players actually in the Premier League. I think this guy is. I think Bruno Guimaraes is a brilliant player. Just putting out there. Hold on, you guys can't see my screen, can you? I was bringing up all the players. Jacob Murphy, 13-pointer again, 2 goals. So whoever had Jacob Murphy for that, very, very fortunate, I'd say, because he has not scored since game week 10 was the last time he scored. So is it knee-jerky? Game week 10, he scored 1 goal, and then he hadn't scored up until literally against Spurs, which is about 20 games later, 22 game weeks later.
Yeah, that's
actually no, that's a lie. Oh no, sorry, no, it's not a lie. He did get an assist against West Ham, but no goals.
That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. As there's no consistency with Newcastle midfielders. They'll have like Murphy had a massive surge of points, but before that, literally not much.
Murphy's only got 3 goals for the season, so 2 of them came last week, and then the one was against Brentford in game week 10. So. Yeah, that is one thing to consider. Look, it is a punt, I guess. You got to be lucky sometimes in FPL, and for those that had him, I guess if you held on to him for that long, or you took that punt against Tottenham. Kane to Jota now. No, I think we answered this one, Luke. I'd roll it. I think.
Yeah.
Would you sell Odegaard for a Newcastle midfielder?
No, I personally wouldn't. I know Newcastle midfielders did well against Tottenham, but it's taken into consideration that Tottenham were really poor in that game, which makes it look like Newcastle midfielders are probably hot to have after that game. But again, this is like something that won't happen every game week. I think near the time when Newcastle double, then you may consider, I think, bringing in Newcastle midfielders because obviously they play 2 fixtures. But for these single game week fixtures, even though Newcastle have Everton away, which looks pretty good, I think going with Newcastle midfielders, you may have to be a bit lucky, as we've seen with Jacob Murphy. You might have to be fortunate that he gets something out of the games.
Also, a comment. There's a few of you watching here. I've got a question for the chat as well. Who would you play? Botman against Everton or Chilwell against Brentford? So drop it in the comments, guys. Would you play Botman or Chilwell? Drop it in the comments. Just want to check something out. Who would you guys play? Help me out here. Kane for Isaac. If it's for free, potentially. But if it's for a hit, probably not. Because I still think Kane can score against Man United, so I wouldn't do it for a hit. So yeah, that's my take on it. A lot of Botman. Yeah, I'm on Botman right now, but just want to get gather your thoughts as well, guys. Botman or Ben Chilwell, because I've seen a lot of people playing Chilwell over Botman, but I've had enough of Chilwell. I'm honestly, he's been such a frustrating pick. When I picked Chilwell up, can't remember when it was. I think it was on the wild card 29 or whenever it was. Been a bit unlucky, but he's basically got me nothing since I've owned him. So yeah, I think I want to play Botman. Wild card and bench boost 34. Alisson, Edison, Trent, Estupinian, Trippier, Shaw, Zuma, Grealish, Rash, Mitoma, March, Salah, Martial, Solanke, Haaland, says FPL Boo Boo. David also with a comment. Is Dalot and Shaw in defense a solid duo? Attacking the double game weeks later. Not for me. I wouldn't want to have Man United double defense. I'd rather have double attack. Obviously, Bruno's now injured, so that makes it a bit tougher. But I wouldn't want Man United double defense personally, because if I take a look at their fixtures, they have a double against Aston Villa and Brighton. I don't see a clean sheet against any of those teams. Man United could win those games, don't get me wrong, but I don't see a clean sheets in those. So double defense, I think, is overkill. And then in 37, Bournemouth and Chelsea, potentially you could double defense in this one, but 34, I don't see a clean sheet in those 2 fixtures, especially against Brighton and even Villa, the way they're playing. I'd rather have a Bruno Fernandes. I'd rather have Rashford, even someone like Martial and Anthony. I'd rather take punts on Martial and Anthony than have double Man United defense. But I think Man United are probably better maybe in scoring and taking a little differential like a Martial who's going to be low owned, etc. Depends who your keeper is. Sorry, my keeper is Edison. So I am doubling up on the defense with Botman and Trippier, but I have Edison in goal. So it's not a triple Newcastle defense. I do like the double up for Newcastle though, because I can just see a Newcastle clean sheet against Everton. Start Fernandes or Grealish. It looks like Fernandes. I know for those that don't follow Fernandes on Instagram, I saw it on Twitter. There was a picture of Fernandes posted on Instagram, and it looks like Fernandes is in a cast. His leg was raised up. It was strapped up. So look, Fernandes could be out. We don't know yet. He could be fine. I'd probably start Grealish ahead of Fernandes. And I'd probably start Botman over Shaw as well, as I have done, because I've got Luke Shaw on the bench. Yeah, I'd start Botman and Grealish. Bottled into 100k. Got Gakpo and Solanke instead of getting Jota and keeping Andreas, moving like Spurs, says Dom. I mean, 100k. I mean, I'd love to be in 100k this season so far. I've not managed to really break in there yet. I'm hoping I still can get a 100k finish. I'm on 316k currently. Steve says, "Gotta go, guys. Brilliant chat. Good luck as always." Yeah, good luck to you, Steve.
Good luck, Steve.
It's been nice chatting. Some good questions from you as well. But yeah, we'll see you soon. And yeah, if you guys are still in the chat, make sure you do smash the like button, guys, before you do head out. Or if you're still in, we're still gonna carry on streaming. There's still 10 minutes to go. We're gonna do our score predictions now, I think. All right, let you take this question, Jordan.
Dom says, I have to bench one Saka, Martinelli, Salah, Matoma, Rashford, Haaland, Solanke, or Watkins. I'll probably bench Solanke.
Who's he got? Solanke has Southampton away.
Yeah, I probably still would bench Solanke over those players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I would be benching a tough one. I wouldn't want to play double Arsenal midfield, honestly, against Man City. I would not play double Arsenal midfield. I'd play one of them. So, mad as it sounds, why would I want to play Solanke with an Arsenal midfielder as well, though? Probably not. I don't know. It's a tough one because Solanke could get something against Southampton. Yeah, look. I'd probably sell Saka or Martinelli. I'll sell one of them and buy a better midfielder like Grealish. And play Grealish. Hope to answer your question. Do you think Maddison is fit for tonight? I mean, he did miss the last game. I'm actually not sure about this one. Does anyone know about Maddison? Jordan, have you seen anything on Maddison?
I can have a check.
Yep, I'll let you do that. Maddison to Grealish or Rashford? But I fancy Maddison at Leeds. I like Maddison to Grealish or Rashford if you've not got those players. But I think Maddison at Leeds could be okay. I'm not fond of Leeds. I'm not fond of Leicester either, really.
No, they've been pretty poor. And just a word on Maddison. He missed the last game because of sickness bug, so he should be fit for the Leeds match.
Yeah, I've also seen Maddison has travelled.
Yeah.
So yeah, Maddison should be. He should be fine, Alex. So you could play Maddison. And yeah, as you mentioned, Leeds have conceded a bunch of goals in the last 2 games, so he could be a decent pick if you want to be different. Spaghetti and beans. Fernandez will punish Sellers. Double game week 34. I am worried about this, if I'm being honest. I am worried about selling him.
Honestly, I'm not too worried because Bruno hasn't returned since game week 24.
Yeah, but it's just one of those. When you sell him, it feels like one of those where he'll come punish you. When you've owned him all that time, he doesn't get anything. And as soon as you sell him, he's one of those players that might punish sellers. Hopefully he doesn't now because I've sold him. But it is a slight worry that Bruno. I think Bruno is still a good pick. But look, if he's injured, if you've held on to him, he could miss out this Tottenham game. And if he does, then he's also a doubt potentially for one of the double game week games. Saka. What about Saka? David, is Konate and Alisson double a better move? Definitely not for me. I wouldn't be on as a Liverpool fan who watches every Liverpool game and analyzes literally every game. I just don't see Liverpool double defense being worth it, especially Konate, who's got very low ceiling in terms of points. Konate is only really going to get you clean sheet points. He's not going to really score. He's not really going to get you an assist. So I think that is a very low ceiling. I'd rather have a Robertson. If you don't have if you've got the money to go to Robertson or even a Van Dijk and Robertson, for me, Konate is probably the least in terms of attacking threat out of the Liverpool defense. So I wouldn't have Konate unless money is no issue. My defense at the moment is Trippier, Stones, Shaw, and the 2 above. Yeah, I'm not sure. Konate for me, look, you may get lucky. He might score a bullet header. He could do that, but I think Van Dijk's more likely to score from a set piece, and Trent and Robertson are obviously better for assists.
Yeah, I agree. I think Trent's probably the best defender you could go for because he's playing an inverted right back role now. He's playing literally almost as a midfielder in that defensive spot. So that's the only defender I would probably go for Liverpool, not go for Konate or even Alisson, because Liverpool still concede goals, as they did concede 2 against Nottingham Forest in the last game week. So I think with Trent, you can get away with an attack in return, but from Konate, it's not really as much. It's just a clean sheet from him.
Eze or McAllister, I'm assuming who to play. Eze against Eze has Wolves. McAllister obviously has Nottingham Forest.
Tough one.
I'd be tempted to play Eze if I had him.
Yeah, I would probably give Eze another chance because I did have him in my last team. They blanked against Everton, but I'd be willing to give him another chance to get something out of the Southampton game.
Mm-hmm. Shrey with a comment: are there any must-have players that are worth a -4 other than Haaland? Well, this week, potentially not. I don't think there is really. I mean, I've took minuses to get Salah in, but that's because Bruno is potentially going to miss out and get injured. No, sorry, he's injured. So I had to do that move. And because I'm going to take a hit next week anyway, why not just take the hit? Why not just take the hit now? So that's where my thinking came about taking the -8, because I'm probably going to have to take a -8 next week. So that's the plan behind it. I've just done it early. It depends on your long-term strategy. If you want Salah for that double, it could be worth a -4 now, potentially, but it depends. Also, best captaincy pick, but I've not considered anyone else other than Erling Haaland. Would you want to risk Jordan to going against Haaland against Arsenal? And how do you actually see Haaland doing against Arsenal?
Well, it'll be tough for him. It was not going to be easy against Arsenal because they know.
I mean, Holding is now playing in defense against Haaland. Holding has struggled a bit.
Yeah, the defense is wary for Arsenal from injuries, but again, Arsenal will double up on Haaland as they know he's the target man for obviously the goals for Man City. So I can still see Haaland scoring though. Despite that, he'll still find a way to get something behind Arsenal. I will be very surprised if he doesn't. But yeah, I'd say he's the best captaincy pick. I mean, this is very important for Man City. This could potentially be the title winner for Man City this game. So it'll be very important Haaland to be a part of that and to break the record, of course.
Well, yeah, it's the biggest game of the season for sure. Obviously, pretty much the winner probably will win the title. If Man City win, obviously the title probably is over for Arsenal. I think it'll be done. But yeah, Haaland's on 32 goals as well, as I mentioned, and he's 1 goal away from breaking the record for the most goals in a Premier League season. So that will play on Haaland's mind. It's a big game. He's one of those big game players as well. So yeah, I would be worried if I didn't have Haaland, or even if I didn't have him captain personally. I don't think there'll be a game week where I don't captain Haaland throughout the rest of the season. The only one I might go against Haaland is when there's double game weeks. Maybe 36, but then he's got Everton. He can easily score a hat-trick against Everton. Where, Isak has a double. Could you be tempted to go Isak when Haaland's got a single? Probably not. So you look at Haaland's fixtures. Where do we not captain him? Probably captain him every game till the end now. And if you want to be different, 36 is where you can go against Haaland and maybe go for an Isak or someone else that doubles. But Haaland, we've seen it before. He can play 45 minutes and score two goals easily and then come off at half-time. 2 minutes only, says Ali Mac. 2 minutes. Farzid, play Pinnock or Shaw. It's Shaw against Tottenham. Pinnock has Chelsea. Probably Pinnock, I think.
Yeah, I might budge to Pinnock.
I don't know what it is with Shaw, because Shaw's had a decent season, but Man United, I'm not sure what to expect from them, because if Bruno is out, it's a bit tough, I think, for Man United without Bruno.
Yeah, and I think, no disrespect, but when Maguire plays, the form of Man United just deteriorates.
De Gea or Alisson? Alisson, West Ham. De Gea, Tottenham. Play Alisson, I think. But it's a tough one.
Yeah, because De Gea gets decent saves, so you could get a save point from De Gea.
Yeah. I'd probably still play Alisson. To be honest, I don't see a clean sheet for Alisson or De Gea. I expect both of them to concede. So it's just a flip of a coin, really. I don't see a clean sheet for either team. But yeah, that was a comment from another way. Make sure you guys do smash the like button, guys. It always helps the channel out. So that's all we ask from you guys. And it is 6 o'clock UK time. So that is it. That is the deadline. Hopefully, Jordan, you've done your team and your captaincy.
Yeah, it's all saved and all correct. Hopefully,
I was thinking, did you do your captaincy? Because I remember when I wildcarded, I didn't do my captaincy right at one point.
Oh yeah, it went on to Solly March.
Solly March. He did get an assist though, which was lucky, but yeah. That's it, guys. Pretty much. That's it from us. Actually, no, we've got to do score predictions.
Oh yes, score predictions.
I'm gonna share my screen. Bear with me for a sec. So yeah, these are the game week 33 fixtures, Jordan. There is games Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
It's nice to see they're all on BT Sport.
Oh, I thought they were on Amazon for some reason. Interesting. All right, cool. Well, let's do score predictions. Let's start off with Wolves at home to Palace. That is tonight, 7:30 p.m. kickoff. How do you see this one playing out? Do you see a home win or an away win?
I can see an away win to Crystal Palace, and I'm going to go probably 2-0 to Crystal Palace.
2-0 Palace. Okay, cool. I think this might be a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 score draw. I think both teams will cancel each other out. Moving on to Aston Villa at home tonight as well against Fulham. Could be a good game. Could be goals in this one. What do you reckon?
Yeah, this could be a busy fixture for both teams. Obviously, Mitrovic is missing for Fulham. But to bounce back from the draw against Brentford for Aston Villa, I think Aston Villa can win it at home. And I'm going to go with 3-1.
3-1, okay. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Aston Villa. I think they will get the job done and climb up the table, maybe get a European place. So I'll go 2-1 Villa to win. Moving on to Leeds-Leicester. It's a massive game in terms of the relegation battle because both teams are struggling at the bottom. If Leicester win, I think they could be safe. So it's a massive game in regards to the bottom three. So how do you see this one going? Leeds are under pressure, I think, to win this game. It's a very important game for them.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough, I think, for both sides. But I think Leeds have more struggle because they have conceded a lot of goals in the last two games. I'm going to go for Leicester win. I think they just have the slight edge over Leeds, who have struggled more, I think, in terms of conceding.
Score?
So I'm going to say 2-1 Leicester.
Yeah, I was actually going to say the same thing. I'm going to go for 2-1 Leicester win, away win. I just think Leeds could be in trouble. I don't see how they win a game really coming out. I know Leicester aren't great either, but I just think they have some goals in their team, and I think they'll sneak it. So that's the Tuesday games out the way, tonight's games. Moving on to Wednesday. First up, we've got Nottingham Forest at home to Brighton. What's your thoughts on this game?
I'm going to go with 2-0 Brighton. I think another away win. I think they'll bounce back from being knocked out of the FA Cup semi.
Okay, yeah, I think Brighton's going to bounce back as well. I don't see a clean sheet. I do think Nottingham Forest will score, so I'm going to go for 3-1 Brighton. Hopefully, Solly March and Mitoma and Estupinian, obviously, I have triple Brighton guys, they can get me some returns. Moving on to Chelsea at home to Brentford. What do you think of this game?
Chelsea at home haven't been that great, even though in the doubles or they weren't great. Brentford's away form is poor, but I still think they can get the upper edge on Chelsea, so I'm going to go with 2-1 Brentford.
2-1 Brentford, interesting. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think Chelsea might get a point here. So I think because of Brentford's away record as well, I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. I think Tony might score, and I don't know who's going to score for Chelsea because they don't really score goals. So 1-1. Moving on to West Ham at home to Liverpool. Liverpool coming off the back of a couple of wins. West Ham also coming off the back of a few wins. A lot better form, climbing up the table now as well. This could be a tough game potentially for Liverpool. A bit of a banana skin, maybe. It is a midweek game. Liverpool's away record we've mentioned this season hasn't been good at all. West Ham haven't been great majority of the season either, to be fair to them. So what do you see this one as? Like, how do you see it going?
I think this will be an upset kind of game for both teams. So I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to go with 2-2.
Oh, interesting. I was actually going to say the exact same thing. I could see Liverpool potentially drawing this game. I don't know what it is. Because it's away. Yeah, I think Liverpool might drop points here. I think it could be a 2-2 draw. I was going to say 2-2. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can get the win, but I can see Liverpool dropping off a bit. There might be some rotation, possibly. So yeah, I'm going to go 2-2 for West Ham Liverpool. Moving on to the big one, probably the game of the season in terms of what it means for the title. Probably the game of the game week 33 as well. Man City at home to Arsenal. Big game for the title race. Man City have to win. Arsenal definitely have to win if they have any hopes of winning the title now. Even a draw is going to be tough for Arsenal now. They need to win, you'd say. Do you see Arsenal winning this game, Jordan?
A part of me does. There is that spirit that Hobby will carry them through this game. And I don't know what it'd be. You know, all odds are against them, but they are going to turn up, I think, for Man City. So the score I'm going to give is 3-2 Arsenal.
Wait, what? 3-2 Arsenal? I mean, if that happens, bloody hell.
This is going to be a massive, and it'll be probably a last-minute goal from Arsenal. I'm going to predict that.
Do you that's actually going to happen, though, or you just...
Honestly,
you are playing Arsenal midfielders, I guess. You put Martinelli in, so you must be a bit confident on Arsenal.
I'm confident in Arsenal because even being down in games, they have managed to claw their way back, as we've seen in the past 3 games where they've drew against teams being the underdog. So this could be the one where they draw and the last-minute goal gives them the win.
I'm gonna go completely the other way. I don't see anything other than a convincing Man City win. I think Man City are going to win pretty comfortably. It's going to be easy. It's going to be 3-1 Man City. Maybe I'm disrespecting Arsenal. Obviously, they have been really good this season. But Man City do not lose games that are do or die in the Premier League when it matters the most, when it's crunch time. I've seen it against Liverpool in the last couple of years. When the Man City need to win a big game for the title, they don't lose. As I've seen painfully as a Liverpool fan. So for me, it's Man City 3-1. I think Haaland's gonna get 2 goals. I do see a brace. I think Martinelli or Saka may get one back for Arsenal, but I think Man City are going to be too strong. I would have backed Arsenal a bit more, but Arsenal haven't won a game. They have 3 draws on the row now, and they've looked shaky. They've looked nervy, and Man City, the way they're playing right now, I wouldn't want to be going to the Etihad anyway. So yeah, that's my predictions, 3-1s. So we'll see. But that's Wednesday fixtures out the way. Moving on to Thursday, we've got 3 more fixtures. So football coming thick and fast. Everton at home to Newcastle. How do you see this one panning out?
I can see an away win for Newcastle in this one, and they want to keep that top 4 spot they're trying to fight for. And I'm going to go 3-1, I think, Newcastle.
3-1 Newcastle, okay. Yeah, I see Newcastle winning this one quite easy. Everton, I don't see them scoring either. So yeah, I'm going to back the clean sheet because obviously I've played double Newcastle defense. I'm going to go for 2-0 comfortable Newcastle away win. Let's move on to Southampton at home to Bournemouth. Another game that affects Southampton need to win. They are obviously near the bottom, or they are at the bottom, aren't they? So Bournemouth could be a tricky game for them. How do you see this one going?
This could be another game which they both cancel each other out. I'm going to go with 1-1, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say the same score. I'm going to go for 1-1 Southampton Bournemouth on a score draw. I think Ward-Prowse might score from a penalty or a free kick, and then maybe Solanke does reward the owners that had the faith in him. So yeah, 1-1 draw. And finally, the final game, it is Spurs at home to Man United. Spurs coming off the back of that embarrassing defeat to Newcastle. Obviously, their manager has just been sacked, or their interim manager has been sacked. It looks like Ryan Mason is going to be in charge for that fixture. Man United have just obviously beat Brighton on penalties. Bruno Fernandes could miss that game, which is a slight worry, I think, for Man United. They don't look as good without him. Rashford should be fine, to be fair. Obviously, Maguire's there, still got a few injuries, United. But I still back Man United, I think, to nick it. I'm going to say 2-1 Man United. What do you reckon, Jordan?
Yeah, I can see a Man United win despite maybe losing Bruno for that game, and obviously defensively not having the defenders we normally have. I still think Man United can clutch the win in this. So I'm going to go with, I'm probably going to say the same 2-1.
2-1, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 as well. As I said, so that is it from us in terms of score predictions. Let us know your score predictions in the chat as well. Who do you think is going to win? What game are you looking forward to watching as well? For me, I think Arsenal Man City obviously is the standout fixture. I don't know if I'd watch that game though, because Liverpool are on at the same time, so I might have both on double screen. We'll see. Because I do want to watch that Man City Arsenal game as well. I think that will be a very good game. But yeah, we'll see. But that is it from us. I think we're going to probably wrap it up here. It's just been over an hour. There is some football to come. Are you watching any games tonight, Jordan? Obviously, there are 3 fixtures tonight.
I'm going to give the Aston Villa game a watch, obviously, because I got Watkins in my team, and I think that's the only player I really have from those 3 fixtures.
Yeah. I may watch. Don't know really which one to watch. Yeah, maybe the Villa game. I'll see.
I think that's the most exciting game, I think, out of those 3 to watch.
I think Leeds and Leicester is an exciting game for the title race, but maybe not to watch. Like that result's going to be interesting because I think Leeds are under pressure now. They have to win this game. I honestly think, or they could be in trouble. But yeah, I think Villa, Watkins. For those that are playing someone like Alex Moreno as well, a few of you maybe, so that could be a good watch. Tomorrow, yeah, fixtures as well that I'll be watching, maybe Liverpool and the Arsenal game. And then Thursday is, are we going live on, obviously we have to do a knee-jerk reaction, probably Thursday, late Thursday, potentially, or right after the Spurs Man United game. We could do it on Friday. Actually, we might have to do it on Thursday, but we'll see.
Yeah, because there's a quick turnaround after this, isn't there?
I don't know how we're gonna do all these videos from Thursday to. Actually, I got an idea. We might have to stream on Wednesday, 6 or 7 o'clock before the games kick off, and do like a team selection or a transfer tips video early. So there's gonna be a lot of streams coming, guys. So make sure you are subscribed to us. And yeah, good luck to everyone this game week. Hope you guys have a good week, and hopefully you get the green arrows that you guys want. And yeah, we'll see you guys, but maybe even tomorrow for another stream. We'll keep you posted on social media, so make sure you follow us on Twitter, the FPL Duo on Twitter. But yeah, that's it from us. Anything else you want to add, Jordan, before we do wrap it up?
That's pretty much it. I hope everyone has a good week, obviously, with your teams and your picks and decision making you made. Hopefully you get green arrows, and yeah, enjoy the football. It's on BT Sport, which is nice, so you can watch any fixture you want. So yeah, take care, and we'll obviously see you soon for the knee jerk.
Yep, take care, guys, and then good luck.